So, Thomas, welcome. For those who
Right.
don't know Values yet, how would you describe Values and its core mission?
Well, Valyuz is a European money institution, but I describe us as more simple as a payment partner for businesses operating within the gaming ecosystem in general.
Right, right. So, what type of clients do you primarily serve?
Well, basically, it's all the clients which are in the in gaming ecosystem. So it means marketing providers for gaming industry, technology providers, consulting, game developers, etc.
Right.
So basically, all the clients, what they have in common, so they dealing with multiple currencies, multiple jurisdictions, and quite often very high volumes.
Wow, very interesting. How do you see the role of EMIs evolving in Europe over the next 3 or 5 years?
Well, I would say that traditional banks are still quite rigid in how they serve businesses, especially involving in fast-growing ones. So I would say EMIs are more agile, more product focused, and more willing to solve real client problems because they are smaller. They have bigger opportunities, and I believe that over the next few years, I expect EMIs to expand significantly in new payment rails, and crypto is a big part of that story today.
Yes, that's true. And what are the biggest payment and operational challenges that your clients face today or in general in day to day?
I would say mainly it's speed and cost efficiency. Speed
Okay,
of operations, of processing, and cost efficiency.
right. You touched a little bit about crypto already, so let's get a bit deeper into it and why crypto matters to EMI clients, right? When did you start seeing increased demand from clients around crypto or digital assets?
I would say it started gradually a few years ago. It mostly basically for bigger international clients who were asking about this, but it's accelerated quite noticeable basically within the last couple of years, and clients were asking. Clients were not asking because they were excited about crypto in general, but they were asking because they had a real operational problem, and they had somewhere or someone told them that crypto rails might solve those problems for them actually.
And so, what clients are actually asking for, like speed, global reach, cost efficiency, availability?
Basically everything what you mentioned, but they want mainly faster settlement, as you mentioned. Cost efficiency is very important, and global reach, of course. And everything this is more important for high volume and international businesses. So very important part is generally getting full service package in one place, and the most simple way of using it.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Let's touch a little bit about traditional banking and where do traditional banking rails still struggle for international or high volume businesses in terms of crypto?
I would say that there are two things. One, I wouldn't say that they're not, they doesn't work, but in general, they are too big and they are not so flexible to adopt changes very fast. And in some use cases, it's not longer flexible or not even enough for the pace at which businesses operate.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Now let's a little bit move about why you, as Values, decided to partner with TradeBP. So what motivated you guys to partner with us?
Well, basically, TradeBP stood out because it combines regulated infrastructure with a broad set of capabilities, which allowed us to address client needs without compromising on compliance or control. On the other hand, we were also focusing into integration simplicity and quality for our clients.
And from Valyuz perspective, what gap does TradeBP fill that EMIs typically don't cover internally?
Well, EMIs in general, most of EMIs are very strong in fiat payment infrastructure, client onboarding, compliance, and meeting all the regulations. And but in addition to that, crypto introduces additional layers and gaps. So TradeBP fills that gaps by providing complete crypto infrastructure. We can integrate into our existing ecosystem and provide more benefits to our clients.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And why did you choose a partnership model instead of building crypto capabilities in-house?
Building this in-house, it would mean replicating a highly specialized and regulated ecosystem, including licensing, infrastructure, ongoing operational expertise. That would require significant time and resources for that. So, and it would take focus away from our core strengths, what we currently have. So by partnering with TradeBP, we can deliver value to our clients faster while relying on provider that is fully dedicated and continuously evolving into regulatory landscape for crypto.
Very good choice. What principles guided this partnership? And it can be all, of course. Regulation, client safety, scalability, compliance.
Well, yes, you're right. Actually, all of those. We wanted to ensure that any crypto-related capability we offer is aligned with regulatory expectations, protect our clients, and can scale as demand grows.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. What new use cases does this partnership unlock for your clients?
Well, mainly I would say it allows us to extend beyond traditional fiat payments into more flexible global payment scenarios. So it also enables clients to operate in regions or situations where traditional banking infrastructure is slower or less accessible at all. So overall, it's about expanding the range of payment options available for our clients, depending on what works best for their specific use case.
Okay, right. So we went live, what is it, 1-2 months ago?
Yes.
Right? So which industries are showing the strongest demand today?
I probably would say that it's less about industry labels in general and more about operational needs. Probably the more global and high volume businesses in general at all, and all the relative business cases from their operating perspectives.
Okay. Great. Let's move to discuss a little bit about compliance, regulation, risk management. So regulation is often seen as a blocker. How do you see it as enabler?
Yes, good question. Well, basically, with regulations, you can create something that clients can rely on, actually, and integrate it into their own operations. So for us, regulation is what transforms crypto from an experimental space, let's say, into usable financial infrastructure. So I believe that regulation is needed.
Yes, very true. And how important was that TradeBP is being MiCA ready for this partnership?
I would say it was a key factor. MiCA is setting the direction for how crypto will be regulated across Europe at all. So aligning with a partner that is already prepared for that framework reduces our future unnecessity significantly. So it also ensures that what we build today, it will be compliant tomorrow. So from our perspective, this is not just about current capabilities, but it's also about long-term sustainability.
Yeah. Okay. I'm curious to hear from an EMI perspective, what does responsible crypto access mean?
Well, I would say that clients should not become a crypto experts. They just need to, they just uses crypto safely.
Okay, okay. And how do you balance innovation with compliance and client protection?
Well, for us, compliance is not something that comes after innovation or besides innovation. It is part of the design from the beginning. So any new functionalities or capability has to fit within a clear risk and regulatory framework before it reaches our clients. That approach was that approach may slow us down at all, but for the beginning, but it avoids much bigger issues what can come later.
Yeah. And you mentioned that being regulated is very important, right? What should clients understand about regulated versus unregulated providers?
Well, I would say that regulated it's not just a compliance. So basically, regulated environment is accountability and reliability for our clients. So regulated providers operate within defined standards for the client protection, reporting, risk management, and all of that covers or creates safety for our clients and clear view of what is happening and creates a trust for businesses, right? And unregulated providers, they may be more flexible, they may give more speed, but they introduce additional risks which clients need to undertake, right? So I would say that at some point that trade-off is not worth it.
Yeah. Very great insights. And let's wrap up this podcast with the last section, which is the future of payments, right? Tomas, how do you see fiat and crypto rails coexisting in the future?
I still think that fiat will remain the domain system, but crypto will become as an additional rail where it makes sense for the clients, for businesses. I think that over time clients won't think in terms of fiat versus crypto or something like that. They will simply expect most efficient way to move their values without separating, is it crypto, is it fiat.
Right, and will EMIs become the main distribution layer for crypto services in Europe, or?
I believe so, because EMIs were, well, it depends. If you are comparing this with compared to traditional banks or just crypto providers, so I would say that if we are comparing crypto providers and EMIs, I would say that yes, I believe that EMIs are very well positioned to play the role in higher league than just crypto providers, because they already have big client relationships. They have already onboarded lots of clients. They have compliance and payment flows. So adding the crypto capabilities on top of that, it's as a natural extension. So rather than crypto providers going directly to end clients, EMIs can act as a structured and regulated distribution layer.
And Tomas, are there any infrastructure trends that you're excited about?
I would say that most interesting probably is the merge of the different financial rates into one unified infrastructure. So as right now we are talking fiat or SEPA, SWIFT, crypto. So when they are going to be merged into one flow, I would say this is it will work as most efficient way. This is probably most exciting thing.
Okay. And the last question of our podcast: in 3 or 5 years, what will clients expect as standard that isn't standard today?
Again, as I already mentioned, I think that it's going to be that clients won't be able to see the difference in the way of which rails are used or how the payments are executed. Is just is going to become a standard expectation rather than differentiation between rails.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tomas.
Thank you.